Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Yin, some summer Yin. It's quite warm here in Melbourne tonight. So let's head straight into the practice tonight. We'll start with the 3-part Taoist breath, the moving meditation. So for this one, you can sit cross-legged, or you might like to sit back on your heels. So if you're sitting cross-legged, you could use a square cushion, or you could sit up a little bit higher on a bolster. And you can always change your position as we go along to make yourself more comfortable. So we're going to do 4 rounds. So here we start with our arms at the side and breathing in and slowly bringing your arms up. Exhale, and we take our hands behind our head and out to the sides. And inhale, bring your fingertips in towards your shoulders. And exhale, press your palms away, chin to your chest, round your upper back. Turn your palms up and inhale as you reach up. You can back bend if that feels okay, and then exhale, bowing down. So that's 1 round, rising back up for our 2nd round. Breathing in and reaching up. Exhale and take your arms behind and press your palms out to the sides. Inhale and bring your fingertips to your shoulders. And exhale, press your palms forward, chin to your chest, round your upper back. Turn your palms up. Inhale and reach up. And back bend if that feels okay, and then bowing to the earth. Rising back up for our 3rd round. Breathing in and reaching up. Really feeling into the movement here. Exhale, hands behind, out to the sides. Breath in, so fingertips to your shoulders. And breath out, press your palms forward, chin to your chest, round your upper back. Turn your palms up and reach up as you breathe in. And exhale as you bow down. Rising up for 1 more round. Breath in, reaching up. Exhale out to the sides. Feeling the full breath. Breathing in, fingertips to your shoulders. And exhale, palms press forward. Turn your palms up, breath in, and reaching up. And exhale, bowing all the way down. Then just coming back up to a sitting position. You can change your position. I'm going to change to a cushion. That feels more comfortable. We're just going to pause for about a minute or so. So you could soften your gaze or close your eyes. And turn your attention inwards to your breath. You could start with your breath. Just noticing that inhalation and exhalation, just like you're observing. And how your body moves as you inhale and exhale. You might also notice other sensations like heat or cool, or subtle pulsation. Perhaps you can feel your heartbeat. It's just like we're witnessing what's going on. This is what we do throughout the practice. So we invite ourselves to observe our breath, our sensations as we're in the poses. That helps us to anchor in the present moment. And when you're ready, opening your eyes if you had them closed. It's bringing yourself back to the room, and we'll head into our first yin pose, which tonight we'll start with butterfly pose. So staying sitting on a cushion if you are sitting on one, or grabbing one if you aren't. You may need a bolster and you may need a couple of blocks handy. So for butterfly, we take our feet out in front and we make a diamond shape in between our legs here. So make sure your sit bones are nicely grounded. If you have a tendency to round through your lower back, give yourself some more height by adding another cushion under your buttocks. And from there, we come forward. So we're flexing through our spine and coming forward. And this is the full butterfly pose. If this is feeling too much for you, you could pop a couple of blocks underneath your knees to really support your bones here. When we support our bones, it helps the muscles to relax, and then we can access the fascia, the yin tissue. But you might be okay without blocks, so see how you feel. Another option is to bring a bolster. I'm bringing a bolster onto my feet here, onto my lower legs, finding a comfortable position. And resting my arms onto the bolster. If you have another block, you could pop a block there and rest your forehead. So wherever you're working, just settling into the pose. So you might need to make a few subtle adjustments in your body to find that edge, that place where you're feeling something. So here you might feel it through your inner thighs, perhaps through your spine, perhaps into your hips as well, perhaps other areas in your legs. And that place where you're feeling something but not too much is the edge. And it's important that if you do experience any pain or any sharp stabbing sensations or even too much sensation, that you come out of the pose, try a more supported option. And then we connect back in with our breath or with sensations in our body, just observing what's going on. The other element is that when we sit, this happens for all of us as humans, in stillness, we can start to notice our thoughts. And so it's normal, the mind will chatter away. That's what the mind does. So we can practice observing the thoughts by bringing yourself back to your breath or to sensations in your body. So we're not pushing the thoughts away or getting frustrated that they're there. There will always be thoughts. But gradually, when we practice observing our thoughts, it can help to calm or quieten our mind. Which also helps to calm our body as we're interconnected. And just observing if you need to make any subtle adjustments to your pose, or if you need to come out. We'll be here for about another 30 seconds. And now let's all slowly roll up through our spine. And just reorient yourself when you reach sitting up, and moving your props to one side. Let's lean back on our hands here and windshield wiper our legs, just by dropping one knee in towards the center at a time. So we're now moving into the rebound. And then taking your legs out long. You can stay leaning back, or you can sit up if it's too much for your wrists to lean back. You might like to do a little bit of both. See how you feel. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. That's the practice of sighing. When you practice sighing, it's good to have a few natural breaths in between the sighs, just to allow the energy to settle. So let's do one more sigh now. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. And now let's leave the rebound. And from here, we're going to stay sitting as we are and move into a gentle leg massage followed by caterpillar pose. So for the leg massage, you might like to place a bolster underneath your knees. See how that feels for you. It depends on the height of your bolster. If not, it may be more comfortable to just use a couple of blocks under your knees if that's a bit lower. And we're going to start up at our hips here, the tops of our thighs, and making a kneading motion is what I'm going to do, but you can do any type of motion to massage your legs. So you can just do the tops, do the sides as well. And we're going to slowly move down our legs, stopping at our knees, giving our knees a massage, and see if you can make it nice and soothing. And then making your way down your lower legs. If you can reach down to your ankles. Ankles can be a really nice place to rub. And if you can reach your feet, you can head down there as well. And then start to make your way back up again. right up to the tops of your thighs. Just notice if you can feel anything a little bit different in your legs. And now we'll move into caterpillar. So you may like to stay as you are and fold forward from there. This is a supported caterpillar pose. Or you could remove your bolster, use some blocks if you're not already using blocks, or for a stronger option, you have your legs just on the floor with your knees a little bit bent. Finding that option that feels right for you. Where you can find that edge, place where you're feeling something. Here we're working down our hamstrings, down the back of our legs, as well as through our spine. You can tune into your breath. Use your breath to soften as you exhale. So you can soften your back. Notice any tension you might feel in your shoulders. It's a really common place. See if you can soften that area with your exhalation. Just observing any thoughts. We observe our thoughts. Start to realize that we don't participate in them. They're just like clouds. They can just pass by. And come back to this present moment. Noticing if your edge has changed and if you need to come out of the pose or make any adjustments. Just subtle movements in your body as the energy shifts in your body as we stay still in the pose. And let's take 2 more breaths here, just in your own time. And when you're ready, it's starting to roll up through your spine. Just pausing here at the top for a moment. And then removing your props. You can lean back on your hands, or perhaps you'd like to bend your knees. See how you feel. You can really do anything that feels right for you after the pose. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. So in the rebound, we're supporting the release through the fascia. A bit of a flood of energy as we come out of the pose. We just allow a little bit of space for this to flow, body to move back into balance. Let's do one more side. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Okay, so let's leave the rebound now and we're going to move on. Going to head now into a toe squat. I've been doing a bit of toe squat recently. And we'll follow toe squat with melting heart pose. So if you know the toe squat and your preferred option, head on in at your own pace. Otherwise, follow along. So make sure you've got a nice amount of padding under your knees and coming up onto your knees and flexing your toes here. So this is option one. If you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, place a couple of blocks in between your legs to sit back on and sit back towards your heels. Will feel like a deeper stretch into your feet and your toes. Or the final option is to simply sit back on your heels. Find this a very grounding position. It's a really good one to move energy down into the lower part of your body, so down your legs, right into your feet. And it only takes a minute or so. So as many of us do in the Western world, we may feel up in our head a lot of the time, and it helps to ground our energy. So feel free to come out. We'll just be here for about another 15 seconds. Just noticing your feet, toes. And now let's release. And let's just rest for a moment back in child's pose. Let's do one side here, taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. And now let's slowly come back up. We will have a longer rest at the end of melting heart pose. So for melting heart, you can stay on a cushion or padding and coming into a four-pointed kneeling position. So you have your knees under your hips and your wrists under your shoulders. And for the full melting heart, we start to walk our hands forward, keeping our hips above our knees. Take your arms, experiment with taking your arms a little bit wide and dropping your forehead to the ground. You start to feel it across your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your upper back. If you have any issues in your neck, place some padding underneath your head, or if it's too much for your neck, you may like to give this pose a miss. If you do experience any tingling in your fingers, it's a sign you could be compressing a nerve, so important to bring your arms down. You could bend into your elbows, place your forearms on top of each other, and rest your forehead on your hands. And as a final option, if you feel like you're needing a little bit more support, you could use a bolster out in front. Rest your arms and your forehead on the bolster. And one more variation that anyone might like to try. This is a new one with the bolster out in front. You could bring your hands into prayer position above your head. There's lots of options. Finding the right one for you. And so connecting in with your breath. Noticing your edge. Whether you need to make any small adjustments. Find that juicy position. Being present with what you can feel. Taking 2 more breaths here in your own time. And then making your way back up to a 4-pointed kneeling position. Just shifting your props to one side. And from here, we're going to rest back into child's pose. Feel free to do any sort of movement that you need to do. Then once you've done that, heading back into child's pose for the rebound. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Releasing the weight of your body connected to your mat. Just observing any of your thoughts. Now coming back up, so leaving the rebound. And from here, we're going to head into dragon lunge pose. We're taking a couple of blocks and placing them either side up one end of your mat. And then having your square cushion, kneeling up on your square cushion. And let's start by taking our left leg forward into a lunging position. So keeping your left knee over your left ankle here. And you may need to shuffle your right knee back a little bit so you can untuck your toes so that you start to feel it down your right hip flexor, which is at the front of your right thigh and through the hip. If you find that your left hip, the front of your left hip, is pressing into your femur bone. You could take your left foot a little bit further out to go around that compression. So this is quite a strong pose, dragon lunge. And seeing if you can feel and find the strength and the softness, this balance of strength and softness. And perhaps it's a softness in your mind. Staying connected with your breath. Be here for about another 30 seconds. Feel free to come out if you need to. And from here, we're going to do some bending and stretching and then coming up into cactus arms. So following along, I'm going to bend forward and stretching back and coming up onto the heel of my left foot. And then bend forward and stretching back. And now this time bending forward and activating your glutes, and we're going to come up and open out into cactus arms by bending through our elbows. If that feels too much, you can stay down at the blocks. That's perfectly fine. And then releasing forward, and we'll come out of this side of the pose by taking our left leg back. And you may like to do a little bit of movement through your hips, through your spine, do a cat curl. Just go quite gently, just to give time for that energy to flow. And when you're ready, setting up your props, and we're going to set up for the other side. Bringing your right foot forward, resting onto your blocks, shuffling your left knee back till you start to feel it down the front of your left hip flexor here, front of your left thigh. And bring to stack your right knee on top of your right ankle. And also, if you're feeling that compression here at the front of your right hip, you can take your right foot a little bit further out to go around that point of compression. If you're feeling it a bit in your wrists, you could try resting back into your palms a little bit more and bending into your elbows. Seeing if that makes a difference. Finding that quality of strength and softness. Noticing if you do need to come out early, that's perfectly okay. You haven't done dragon lunge for a while. You're really tuning into what your body is feeling. We'll stay for about another 30 seconds or so. Now let's move into some bending and stretching. So let's stretch back through our right leg, up onto the heel, releasing your right foot down, bending forward, stretching back, bending forward. And this time, let's bring our arms up and open our arms out into cactus arms, bending into our elbows, opening through your chest. Activating your glutes for stability. And perhaps untucking your back left toe as well. And releasing your hands down onto your blocks. Taking your right leg back. Placing your blocks to the side. You can do a little bit of movement again through your hips. Just feeling into what your body needs. And when you've finished your movement, we're going to lie down onto our backs for the rebound. So heading down onto your back. Once you're on your back, let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. You can have your knees bent or you can place your legs out long. Just notice what you feel like doing. Just feeling the weight of your body on your mat. Let's do one more sigh, a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Ah. From here, let's move into a spinal twist. You know your preferred option of spinal twist, head on in at your own pace. Otherwise, bringing your knees into your chest. You can take your arms out to the sides at shoulder height. And we're going to take our knees over to the right side. So pinning or anchoring your left shoulder on the mat. Dropping your knees over to the right. You need to shuffle your hips a little bit to your left. Find that spot, that twist that feels right for you. If it feels okay for your neck, you can look over towards your left hand. You have your knees hovering off the ground. Grab a support, a blanket or a bolster. Allow your knees to rest onto the support. And also experiment within the twist. You can bring your knees closer towards your torso. This will deepen the twist. Or you can take them further away to lessen the twist. And as a final option, for anyone that wants to move a little bit deeper, you can come into twisted roots. Bring your knees back to the center and cross your left leg over your right, having your knees bent. Take your left foot underneath your right calf, if it will go there, and drop your knees over to the right side. You can also use a bolster for this option to support your knees. And you could also cactus your arms here to invite more of a sense of opening through your chest, shoulders. Inviting yourself, if it feels right, to move into a space of just being. This is a peaceful space of being. Nothing to do, just be. Just allowing a little bit more space now without me talking so that you can simply rest into the space of being. And let's take 3 more breaths here, just in your own time. You've finished your 3 breaths, bringing your legs back up to the center. You may like to do just a gentle rock, or you can simply head straight over to the other side. Noticing what your body needs. So to head over to the other side, bringing your knees into your chest, arms out to the sides at shoulder height, dropping your knees over to the left, shifting your hips to the right. Your knees are hovering off the ground. You can use a bolster underneath your knees. And if your neck's okay, looking over towards your right hand. Otherwise, stay looking up towards the ceiling. Experimenting with the positioning of your knees. if you like, by bringing them either closer towards your torso or further away. Noticing how that changes your experience of the twist. Could also cactus your arms by bending into your elbows. Anyone working twisted roots, heading on in at your own pace on the other side. Just bringing your awareness to your legs and softening your legs all the way down to your feet. Just resting in this space of being. Nothing to do, just be right here. Staying present with your breath. Softening as you exhale. Rest here for about another minute. And really allowing yourself to be. Observing your thoughts. Now taking 2 more breaths here, just in your own time. When you're ready, bringing your knees back up to the center. You may like to bring your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your knees and gently rock. Just to massage out your lower back. And see how that feels. And then we will head into Shavasana. So setting yourself up for our final pose, Shavasana. They like to stay lying as you are. Or you could bend into your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. Or you could also place a bolster underneath your knees. This can feel like feel nice for our legs, a little bit of support out of our pelvis. So wherever you are, once you're comfortable, let's do one more sigh. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just inviting this sense of surrender. So we move into the final part of class. So I'm going to guide you in a body awareness practice or meditation for about the next 6 minutes or so. So feel free to let my words wash over you if this doesn't feel right for you. So let's start by bringing our awareness to our feet on both sides and softening through our feet and softening through our ankles. Softening spreads through our lower legs, thighs and our shins, up to our knees, spreading from the center of the joint out to the surface. And softening through our buttocks and pelvic bowl and the base of your body. Softening through your belly, through your lower back, now moving up your torso, up towards your rib cage, middle of your back, now inside your rib cage, your upper back, softening. Softening all the way up to the top of your chest, your shoulders, softening your shoulder blades. Moving down your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms softening, wrists, hands, and all the way down to your fingertips. Softening, inviting a sense of relaxing. And moving up to your neck and your throat. And softening through your neck and throat. Up into your jaw and into your whole face. Noticing if you're holding any tension anywhere in your face and softening. Softening now the sides of your heads, around your ears, the top of your head, and softening the back of your head. Now, bringing your awareness down to your heels in contact with the floor. Notice your heels in contact with the floor. And any parts of your legs, lower legs or upper legs that are in contact with your mat, feeling that contact. And your buttocks, any part of your back and your shoulder blades in contact with the mat. And feeling those contact points. Then the backs of your arms or the backs of your hands, the parts that are touching the ground. Feeling those parts or being aware of those parts. And then finishing with the back of your head. Feeling contact of the back of your head with the ground. Now just resting, noticing your whole body in contact with the ground. And let's now start to wake up. And start to bring some movement to our fingers, to our toes, hands, feet. I'd like to stretch your arms above your head, stretch to your legs, point your toes. Release your arms and then roll to one side. You can rest your head on your arm, or perhaps on a pillow if you have one. Bring yourself up by using your arms to support your weight. Coming up to a comfortable sitting position, let's bring our hands to prayer in our heart center, at our heart center. Bow our heads towards our heart. Just taking a moment here to honor yourself for taking the time to explore just being through the practice of Yin Yoga. And let's honor others, each other who are practicing this week in the group. And let's honor our sacred earth, the earth which we all share. It gives us ground for our experience of life. And together, let's say namaste. Namaste. You enjoyed the practice, it was beneficial for you in some way. If you do have any questions, if you need any different options, please do feel free to contact me for a chat. Otherwise, love to see you next week. Okay, enjoy your week. Bye for now.